Okay, what we're going to be talking about today is a special route, or really any route, and the importance of reading your signs so that you can make decisions, make correct decisions about proper lane usage and where you should be looking at traffic and whatnot. So the route that we're going to be showing right now, and again, remember, what I'm talking about right now really applies to pretty much any area you're going to be driving through, because there's a lot of routes that have similar situations that you have to be looking out for. So the examples and the instructions that I'm going to be giving you here apply pretty much anywhere that you're going to be. Okay, so for this example, we're going to be starting at our facility, which is right here. Okay, this is Cornwall Avenue. So from Cornwall, we go up the street, we go north on Cornwall, and then we go east on Chestnut, which Chestnut is a one-way street going in this direction at this point. Our goal for here is to follow the truck route going back to Interstate 5 North. The truck route from here will go from Cornwall Avenue, right on Chestnut, left on Forest Street, which is also a one-way street. And the area that I'm most concerned about is this section right here. Okay, now as you can see right here, it kind of has a little bit of an S maneuver to it, where you're coming in this direction, you will make a slight left turn, and then you will make a slight right turn again. And this is where that area becomes quite hazardous if you're not prepared and paying attention. From this section, as I mentioned, we're going to be going to I-5 North. The other important thing to do here is to make sure that you're reading your signs, because somewhere along the route, somewhere along State Street right here, you're going to see a sign that says I-5 South to the right, I-5 North is straight. Okay, so you'll wind up, if you're reading your signs correctly, now you know that you have to go straight on this road. So this Ohio Street right here happens to be the on-ramp for I-5 South. The on-ramp for I-5 South, for I-5 North, is about a block further north, where you will be making a right turn onto Iowa Street. You go back underneath Interstate 5, and then it's a turnaround ramp to go north on I-5. So it's a little bit tricky, but it is very easy to maneuver if you're reading your signs correctly. Okay, so I do have a few pictures here that we're going to be showing about what you will be seeing as you come to certain parts of the streets. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this one first. This is Forest Street to Ellis. And let me see if I can find them here. As you're coming down Forest Street and you're in your right lane, this is exactly what you're going to be looking at. The things that are important to see here is, what's important to see in this video? What are you, or in this picture right here? What is your main priority? What should you be looking at?
Do both lanes go towards the left?
Exactly. It's lane choice. Okay. So in this case, because you're within town, normally for trucks, we want you guys to be in the right lane. But if you're going to make a left turn, obviously you've got to be in the left lane. However, for this scenario, you are in the right lane, and you can see that both lanes are set up to go straight. Okay, left lane you can go straight or left, right lane you can go straight or right. We'll take a look at it here, and if you happen to be in the right lane, you're perfectly okay. As a matter of fact, you are safer in the right lane than you are in the left lane. Okay, because in this lane, if you're in the right lane, to make this left, now keep in mind, okay, the sign says straight, but the road really doesn't go straight. It kind of goes straight to the left. Okay, it's still considered the straight line. Does that make sense? Okay, so just kind of pay attention. But what's important here is that when you are making that left, your tractor can go straight a little bit further and then finish up your left curve in your lane. And it's very, very important that your trailer does not cross into the left lane. Okay, so let's see if we can bring it up here.
So we almost want to do a small button hook going towards the right.
That's correct. You are almost going to do a button hook, but if you look right here, there is quite a bit of space so that your tractor can go straight out this way and then turn and be keeping your trailer within that lane. That is very important about keeping your trailer in the correct lane. Okay, now let's see what else we can see from here. We'll just bring up the next picture. Okay, again, we're getting a little bit closer and we're still making sure that we are in the lane. If you were to look, and something that I tell everybody, in order to ensure that you are centered in the lane, you have to look at both mirrors. In this case, I'm looking at the truck from the passenger seat, taking this photo. Does the truck look centered?
Doesn't look like it, but
It doesn't look like it's centered. It looks like we're way over here to the left. But in reality, we are centered right in the middle of that our correct lane. Okay. So let's get it back over here to the next photo. Okay. Okay, so right now we're in the intersection. You can see it's a green light. So we continue to go right here. Again, remember to go a little bit further to the right. Ensure, this is critically important, that you're not going into the lane that is right to your left. Okay? We're going to go back to the other screen because we have a slight video, or a small video to show. This would be the third part. Okay, so you can see what we're doing right here. All right, now here's where it becomes super important again. Okay, we just finished our left turn part of that curve. As you're coming along here, what else do you see? What is important to see on this video?
20 and a hard right.
Exactly. It's 20 miles an hour and a hard right. Now, if you're familiar with what gear is correct for what speed, you'll know that this is good at about 4th gear. Okay? But it also becomes really tricky because you want to keep your vehicle within your lane, correct?
Yes.
All right. So if you keep your truck within this lane, as you come around the curve right here, where's your trailer going to wind up?
So cover both lines?
You're right, and I'm going to hit that here in just a second. But for right now, if you keep your tractor in this lane, your trailer is going to wind up cutting the curb and hitting the light post on the other side of this turn. Okay, so it's critically important to be looking ahead to see, what do I have to do next? I see a challenge right here. How am I going to address that challenge? Okay, so let's see what happens next. Okay, right about here, this is something that is very, very important. You have to be looking at your mirrors, okay? Because what's critical right here is that you cover both lanes. If you cover both lanes, then your trailer, by the time you're coming around the curve right here, is going to be able to clear this curve and come around, and then you can bring your tractor back into the lane, and your truck and trailer will be in the correct right lane at that time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so again, remember, you have to be looking at your mirrors. You have to find a spot that you can come on over. So signal, take both lanes. Take both lanes. You have to ensure that you do not leave enough space on the right-hand side for a vehicle to get around you. Okay? Another thing to remember is nobody likes to be behind a truck, ever. If you cover up both lanes like this, they're going to be looking. The cars behind you are going to be looking to see which lane he's going to take, because whatever lane he takes, I'm in the other one. And if you give them enough space on the right, you don't have to be completely over in your lane, but you give them enough space on the right, they're going to try to pass you. And this is where the accident is going to happen right here. Okay? So again, check your mirrors, make sure you're clear, and then you can continue on by taking both lanes. See how the truck is now there covering both lanes, and we're certain, and again, it's the trailer that's important. Okay? You continue to go around. Notice how the tractor is in the left lane, but the trailer, because of the turn, is actually in the right lane. Then you bring your tractor back around and you wind up right there in the correct lane, right back to the right, and you're completely safe. Okay? No vehicles can be hit on the left or on the right, and no vehicles can be hit on the left because you're covering both lanes. Does that make sense? All right, great. So now we're on to our next challenge, to get to Interstate 5, northbound. So, we're done with this video. And we'll go on to this next section. Okay, so again, take a look at this challenge. Where you're coming around right here, you are in your right lane. Somewhere around here, right around the center, as soon as you can see the signs that tell you 20 miles an hour, that's where you have to start getting prepared to come over. So what if there's cars coming around you on the left lane? What do? You have to stop. You do not have a choice. You will have to come to a stop. Well, what happens to all the cars that are behind you? They're going to go around you, okay? But you have to have patience, okay? Because eventually, this light back over here is going to turn red. And at that point, you shouldn't have any more vehicles coming up around you. So now you're clear to come around and take both lanes. The key here is to have patience to make sure you give the cars enough time to get around you. But if you're pre-planning and you look for an opening, you can actually come around and continue with your speed. Nobody likes to be behind a truck. Nobody especially likes to be behind a slow truck. Okay? So make sure you maintain your speed, the legal speed, about 20 miles an hour. 15 is okay because it is kind of a tight maneuver for a truck. And then this is the tricky one right here that I said, if you don't cover both lanes, you're going to wind up running over the curb. Okay? And there's a telephone pole right here near these trees that will also come down. So you have to be paying attention, looking ahead to see what do I need to do. Okay? All right. So now that we completed that part of the video, we've already seen this video, now we're going straight here to go to our next challenge, which is getting to this part right here to make a right turn to head towards Interstate 5. All right? Let's go on back to our pictures. We are here right now. Okay, several things to keep in mind. Number one is, are you on a truck route? Are you sure this is a truck route? Okay, well, what you have to look at is one of two things. One is there a sign that says no trucks allowed over a certain weight? And if you're over that certain weight, then you're in the wrong area, okay? And the other one is, look for something like that, okay? Does it say truck route? So if it says truck route, you're completely safe, okay? All right. So right here, we're still in that, we're still going in what's called State Street, still going north. Okay, what else is important to see here? What do you have to be looking for? Well, we've already passed one sign that unfortunately I was not able to take a picture of, but Nope. Somewhere along here, and I'm sure I can get a, go online and get a picture of it, but I believe it's this sign right here. There's a sign right here that says Interstate 5 South to the right, Interstate 5 North straight ahead. You want to go straight ahead. That's the first sign that you have to be looking at. Okay, once you've covered that sign and now you know you have to continue going straight, now you look for some other signs. There's another sign that right around here that'll say Interstate 5 is to the right. So do you now know that you have to make a right turn? You have to make a right turn. So what is the next thing to take a look at? Which lane should you be in to keep you and everybody else safe? Okay, so let's go back to the map. As you can tell, there is 2 lanes that go right and 2 lanes that go left. Okay, so let's go back to the map here for a moment and let's get back to that particular intersection. Okay, so this is that intersection right here that we're talking about. Here's lane 1, lane 2, and lane 3. We know that these 2 lanes go to the right. We know that this same lane in the middle and the left lane go to the left. Okay, so I'll ask you again, which lane should you be in?
Left.
Okay, well, we have 1 right and 1 left. Okay, so, I'm sorry, well, the middle. So, if you're in the right lane, which is the lane that you've been traveling in, correct? If you try to make the turn from this section right here, what did I mention just a few minutes ago about pulling into the other lane of traffic? Okay, you're going to block any vehicles that are trying to come around here. You're going to be blocking them. Okay, so that makes it very dangerous for you. You want to make sure that if you happen to be in this lane and you're going to make a right turn, you cannot block the vehicles that are coming around on this side of you. Does that make sense? If you do, and let's say this is for the state test, and you block any vehicle, that would be considered an automatic fail. So you don't want to block vehicles. So the more important thing to do is, since both lanes turn to the right, you want to be in the further left lane in order to make a right turn. In this case, it becomes a center lane. Because what you do here, if you're making a right turn, your tractor can actually go straight, come about up to here, and then start making your right turn so that your trailer will follow this line right here without going into this traffic over here. Okay? Does that make sense? Any questions on that? Okay. Now, if you try to make your turn from here, from the inside lane, without bringing your tractor over here, you got a curb right here that will go, and you also have a telephone pole right here that is very close to the curb that has some scratches on it already because some drivers have actually attempted that. Not any of our students, but some have already done that. Okay? So, but still you're going on I-5 North. And you happen to, because you made this turn correctly from this lane, coming out, bringing around, always checking to make sure that your trailer is staying in your lane. Your tractor can go out of the lane, that's fine, but you want to make sure your trailer maintains its lane. Okay? So once you get to this section right here, now you only have essentially about 3 blocks to be able to get from the left lane back to the right lane, because over here, right past the interstate, you're going to have to be in the right lane to make your turn to get onto I-5 North. Okay, any questions on this? Okay, so let's see what else we have here for pictures. Okay, so we've seen this one already. Again, these are your signs right there. And I believe that's the last one that we have. Let's take a look at this one. And let's see what's happening here. Okay, so you can tell the driver reads the signs and then comes up, pulls back into the correct center lane. Because you're looking at your signs, you know which lane you should be in. Correct? All right, any questions on this? All right, well, thank you very much. That concludes this presentation. Well, actually, before we finish that, let's take a look at something else. So you've seen this scenario right here. Let's take a look at another really quick scenario. Lakeway. Let me just get my bearings. Okay, here we go. In this scenario, you're coming down this street right here, and you're going to have to make a left and then a right. Similar? It's almost identical. It's in a different location, but what I'm trying to communicate here is that if you're watching your signs and you're reading all of your signs along here, how fast should you make the turn? Okay. You also have 2 lanes in this area, so you're going to dig into the turn here and then come back around to ensure that your trailer stays within your lane and is not encroaching on the lane inside of you. Okay, right to the left of you. And as you're coming over here, okay, you're looking for the same thing. This is your turn right here. And if you stay within your lane right here, your trailer is going to run over the curve here and over the curve there. So it's important to make sure that you're looking ahead and just getting an idea, what do I need to do? I've done this before, but someplace else. Doesn't matter, it's the same situation. Make sure that you're prepared to do both. Okay, questions?
That's when you come up the hill, you want to stick to the right, because like you said, you go into that road a little bit on the right, but then you're going to switch to the left lane. Yeah, you'll probably wind up taking both lanes. Okay, so again, there's so many different scenarios that are very similar to this that you need to be able to know when you should take both lanes. Now that one there, I don't think there's any way to tell if there's any. Is that part of a truck route, so there'd be warnings on it?
It is a truck route. Okay, and you'll know that it's a truck route. A lot of times you'll get signs that will say no trucks except for local deliveries. Okay, well, you're allowed because obviously you've got restaurants in this area, you've got stores in this area, and all of these need to get serviced by a truck. So you're going to have commercial vehicles running in that area. Okay, all right, any questions? All right, thank you for your attention.